Hello, welcome to Operations Management. In this lecture, I will talk about productivity measures. Productivity is output divided by input. It means it's a measure of number of outputs produced per unit of input. An example would be number of pens produced per unit uh, instead of per unit per gallon of ink available. So that is, if you have 1 gallon of ink, how many pens you can manufacture. So that measure is given by productivity. Another example would be number of chairs produced per labor hour. So that is, if you have 1 labor hour, how many chairs can you produce? So this is, if you see productivity, it's usually it is a measure per unit of input. So that is what productivity is. So there are two types of productivity measures which is done. These are called single factor productivity so I can represent this by SFP. So as the name specifies, we are using only one factor or one input, single input. So they are also called, your textbook might call single factor as partial measures. So it's also called partial measures. So this would be, as the name specifies, it has single input or a single factor. The formula can be output divided by labor, or it can be, so whatever factor is available or given in the problem, output divided by machine, or output divided by capital, output divided by energy used. So these are the single factor productivity measures. And then we will have multi-factor productivity. So as the name specifies, it will have multiple inputs. So I will represent multi-factor productivity as MFP. So this is mostly, as the name specifies, we are using multiple inputs. So our multi-factor productivity, the formula would be output divided by, so if we have labor as input plus machine. So there are other measures based on the availability of input factors. We can use different inputs. So the other input can be our other multi-factor formula can be output by labor plus capital plus energy. We might have so the input would keeps on changing based on the inputs given in the problem. So it can be output divided by material plus overhead. So these are the formulas for multi-factor productivity. If you see, one of the things in multi-factor productivity is labor and machine are both measured. You can measure in time. You can use same units. But the thing is here, if you see labor plus capital plus energy, those are different units of measure. So it's difficult to add them. So think about labor is available in hours, capital is in dollar amount, energy is in kilowatt hours. So you can't add all of them together. So this is wrong. So one of the ways you can overcome this problem is to convert all of them into dollar amount. So if you can convert labor into dollar amount, capital into dollar amount, and energy into dollar amount, you can bring all of them in a dollar amount and add them. So that's how we will be solving the problems on productivity. This concludes the explanation of the concept of productivity. Thank you.